That knot in your stomach every Sunday night is not stress. It is a signal. Here is the framework to finally decode it. You updated your LinkedIn on a Tuesday afternoon. Not because you got a promotion. Not because you changed roles. You just needed to know your options were still open. That quiet impulse, checking if the door is unlocked, tells you more than any pros and cons list ever will. Today, I'm going to walk you through a practical framework for deciding whether it's time to leave, or whether you're just having a rough quarter. Most career advice says quit when you're unhappy. But unhappiness is vague, so let's get specific. There's a real difference between a bad week and dreading Mondays with your whole body. Pay attention to what happens on Sunday evening. If you feel a slow, heavy resistance building, not about a specific project, but about the job itself, that's data worth paying attention to. One rough month doesn't mean quit. But 6 months of Sunday dread means your body is telling you something your brain hasn't accepted yet. A McKinsey workplace study found that employees who stayed in roles they'd mentally checked out of saw their performance drop by nearly a third within a year. You're not just hurting yourself at that point. You're slowly becoming someone you don't recognize at work. And the people around you can feel it too. Now ask yourself one honest question: what did you learn in the last 6 months? Not what you delivered, what you actually learned. If nothing comes to mind, you've probably hit a growth ceiling. Sometimes the ceiling is the role itself, you've mastered the tasks and there's nowhere left to stretch. Other times it's the company, they don't invest in development, or promotions go to people who play politics instead of people who perform. What makes this tricky is that comfort disguises itself as stability. You might tell yourself things like, at least it's predictable, at least I know what I'm doing. But predictable and stagnant are closer than you think. Before deciding anything, talk to your manager directly. Ask them, what does the next level look like for me here? If they can't answer clearly, or if their answer is just keep doing what you're doing, that silence is your signal. This next one sneaks up on you slowly. When you first joined, the company's mission probably felt aligned with who you are. Maybe they talked about innovation, or work-life balance, or putting customers first. Now watch what actually happens in real meetings when pressure hits. Do leaders make decisions that match those values on the wall? When a company says we value transparency but your manager hides bad news from the team, that's a values gap. When they say people first but deny leave requests or guilt trip you for using your own PTO, that's a gap too. Small mismatches are normal because every company is imperfect. But when you find yourself biting your tongue because speaking honestly feels unsafe, or when you're embarrassed to tell friends what your company just did, the gap has become a canyon you can't ignore. Research from MIT Sloan shows that toxic workplace culture is 10 times more predictive of employee turnover than compensation alone. People don't leave bad salaries nearly as often as they leave environments that make them feel small. Let's talk about money, because this is where most people get genuinely stuck. You know something needs to change. Every signal is flashing red. But the salary is good, the benefits are solid, and the mortgage is very real. So ask yourself this question: if this job paid 30% less, would you still stay? If the answer is no, you're not staying for the role, you're staying for the paycheck. That's not loyalty. That's a transaction, and transactions always have an expiration date. Financial planning is what makes leaving actually possible. Start by calculating your runway. How many months of essential expenses do you have saved up? Even 3 months of savings changes everything about how you negotiate, how you interview, and how you carry yourself at your current job. You stop operating from fear and start making choices from a place of clarity. That shift alone is worth the effort. So before you draft that resignation letter, run through 4 honest checkpoints. First, have you had a real conversation with your manager about what needs to change? Not hints dropped in passing. Not hoping they notice your frustration. A direct, uncomfortable, adult conversation. Second, have you given it a genuine timeline? Pick a date, 90 days works well, and truly commit to trying. If nothing meaningful shifts by that deadline, you have your answer. Third, are you running towards something specific or just running away from discomfort? Quitting without direction often lands you in the exact same situation at a different company with a different logo. Know what you want next, even if it's rough. Fourth, have you separated your emotions from the actual evidence? Write down the facts about your job over the past year, not how you feel on your worst Monday morning. When 3 or 4 of these checkpoints confirm what you've been feeling, leaving isn't impulsive. It's the most informed decision you can make. Here's what I want you to do in the next 10 minutes. Open your Notes app and write your honest answers to those 4 checkpoint questions. Don't polish them. Don't overthink it. Just write whatever comes to mind first. Sometimes the act of putting words on a screen makes the answer obvious, an answer you've carried for months but haven't been willing to say out loud. Whatever you decide, remember that staying is also a choice you're making every single day. Make sure it's one you're making on purpose, not one you're making because change feels scary. You deserve a career that challenges you, respects you, and makes you genuinely better. If this helped you think more clearly, send it to someone who's wrestling with the same question right now. I'll see you in the next one. That's a wrap, thanks for watching. If this gave you one idea you can use today, hit like and subscribe. See you in the next one.